meeting to order at 6:01 p.m. on September the 13th, 2022. Members of the committee present are myself, Council President Myers is here, Councilman Spotman is absent and excused, along with Councilwoman Green. Also present are Councilman Kusunik and Semick, Law Director Clammer, and City Engineer Boyer, and Councilwoman Smith. Police chief is also on his way in. On tonight's agenda are two items under proposed ordinance of vicious dog ordinance. Mr. Clammer?
Yeah, this is the one that I worked on the draft, just not a draft, but I proposed the changes to this on the 18th. You remember it had that language in there that also approaches on domestic fashion. I think you brought that was the case. My thought, again, my thought would be correct. You know, my source of comment. So I did send another draft on August 29th. I should say I sent an email with the proposed language, just removing the approaching domestic fashion. To me, it seems appropriate that if your dog bites somebody or another dog, then there should be a charge. Mark and Adam, I'm not sure which way they're not. But so that was the last draft we have. Some it's not everybody. Everybody's approval, I think, is good for those things to cut pages and legislation. So that was August 29th.
Yeah, I do recall that.
I forwarded it this afternoon, so we had.
Yes, I did read that. President Myers, comments?
Yes, Randy, was there something in that legislation also about an insurance requirement for vicious dogs?
Insurance?
I thought
There was one in whatever draft somebody sent, right, with somebody.
Yeah, it used to be for like pit bulls or.
Yeah,
you had to carry.
if a dog was being vicious, then you had to at that point, I think, right?
Yeah.
Or was it just or was it breed specific?
I removed it from the draft.
Okay.
I think I don't know who's going to monitor that. I don't know how to enforce that. I mean, the point is that you want to cite somebody's dog, like somebody, but when insurance covers it, it covers it. I'm just not sure that that's something that the city has the resources to be involved in.
And that's kind of my concern is one more thing we're asking the police department to enforce, or the building department to enforce, or something like that.
I would suspect whatever city has, we got it from probably.
The reading I had today of what you sent, it appears that no one can have a dog that bits somebody. That after.
Well, no, we have it that's how you're imposing the liability on the keep the dog.
Because like the other day, a good example, lady, mail carrier's coming up, the dog runs out, the mail carrier, the normal mail carrier, always gives the dog a visit. When this mail carrier didn't realize that, got super scared, understandably, started running away, the dog nipped her and got her back in the leg. Now, we had no rule for either one of them, but it's not something they should have to deal with, and by that ordinance.
Well, this language replicates the dog barking one, that no person shall keep or harm a dog in the nuisance by barking. So I use the same language. But in those cases, we don't make it clear for the dog. That's just the language to say you're liable for it. That's why I'm trying to come consistent.
Yeah, and everything, obviously, we're getting, social media has made us all more accessible to other people, where there are problems in the city that we always need to address, but every law that I impose on Mike, and Angela's not happy, then we impose one on Angela, and there's that push-pull that we're trying to make sure that we can accommodate most people.
I think why I put this in, it's still titled, I think this is the same section, 50519, we have the parking lot. So I just added subsection and used the same like people.
We've had, then Quentin, we had that problem a while ago.
Yeah.
And, and legitimate aggressively deal with aggressive problems, and we monitor the rest of the city, but it's trying to make an approach that you guys are comfortable with and that is easily enforced, and we're trying to do as well.
Any other discussion?
I think something, along the lines of what Chief Wright was saying, I think the current verbiage is a little too limiting. The way it reads is, it doesn't speak to a nuisance dog or a vicious dog, it speaks to any dog that bites someone. For instance, my dog has leash aggression occasionally, and under the way this is written, if someone came up to him without me knowing and he bit them, just a one-time offense, my dog would now be considered a vicious or nuisance dog.
Can we put vicious, could be, or shall be described as more than one?
Yeah, it doesn't show.
Well, we have an escalating for minor misdemeanor, we also have some enforcement discretion, in my mind. You know, it's probably got a balance of line and full. So I don't know how we.
So what I'm looking at here is that
You look at it,
it says that the dog has caused injury to any person or any dog, no person shall keep a harbor, any dog that has caused injury. Injury can just be a scratch or something like that, but down in section D, it says, should the dog kill or cause serious injury? I think serious injury is more what we're concerned about, but dog will scratch, things like that.
I think probably was serious injury.
But it certainly could be.
Yes, I think, well, probably most cases.
Well, you
It's
know,
the best of the dog biting.
I got bit by the Holy Hill dog in SWAT training 15 years ago, and there was really no rhyme or reason to it. The dog was, and punctured compared to his hairs, and I do agree with Randy that the discretion of, same like with an assault, you know, two guys mutually meet up, one guy gets another one in the black eye because the other guy, he fights better. You know, that's different than the random sucker punch for no reason. And we have a lot of things within our ability to kind of steer that towards a right direction, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, you want to take out a fence and fight altogether.
My only concern, I'm sorry, would be that person A reads this after they get dismissed, and they're like, wait a second, and again, we're never going to make it. We should throw out the good for the perfect, but if it's, and Randy's got the legalities to be much better than I, but.
Yeah, I tried to think of when we had, there was even like that house. Here in town.
Here in Ohio, aren't they entitled to 135 before they're deemed vicious?
I would say so.
Unless there's civil liability, but
Is that what I'm thinking about?
And I think reasonably that's what we would do. And with exceptions to that, if a dog charges out and goes through a picture window and, you know, it's much, we don't need to get that dog in second place. The animal maybe is bad analogy. I also have, we're gonna be doing a meeting with the Humane Society of the New Region, with a former Kirtland officer that should be able to help mediate this stuff as well. I think of them and the dog wardens, the mayor's contacts and persistence as well as try to balance what, you know, safety of mail carriers, convenience of the residents, and, you know, I don't think we want to be the euthanized city for, because it's going to create its own, you know, group of followers or whatever.
It's all good from all places.
That sounds like we need to keep this in committee work on.
That's fine. I mean, maybe expanding a little bit on what Chief said. It's not bad. Maybe it's not a bad idea to reach out to the dog warden, have the dog warden come in and see what his experiences are in the county, maybe he can provide some direction. If that's not a bad way to go.
Yeah, and then take a look and see if they have any thoughts that we're not really looking to deal with this, we're looking to only have the authority and backing to deal with most severe, the first one-time incident, and for sure,
And ultimately came up because of the postal carriers.
Because they've went second.
Could we say something like, cause injury due to aggression or something like that? It causes, just cause injury, a person could trip over a dog and cause an injury. I mean, it's the aggressive dog that,
For the dog, or not maybe that caused injury, so the dog would cause injury.
well, I
I
mean,
think I've
there,
heard the after you start running away, when you're a lawyer, I think you don't be that one.
it seems like a vague thing there, like any injury that a dog is
Any injury due to the aggressiveness of the dog.
right, that's what I'm saying, should be due to the aggression or something like that.
Well, I mean, then we're really expanding to one. Criminal liability for ownership of dog, the dog will lunge at the person overreacts and falls down and gets hurt. Do we want criminal liability for those owners? I mean, if we want it, they can be like, if you bite, that's it.
Well, I mean, I don't have a story for every law or incident, but actually, a month ago, I was walking on East Stonebrook, happened walking by a house of people that we know, that our kids grew up together. And we're walking our dog, two decent sized dogs on a leash, and you could hear this dog coming, and out of the garage, and I think it was like a rock pit mix, it was just pretty scary looking dog. They come and that leash hits the tension and just explodes. And they'll come in, go, I might have pushed my way in front of me. Got in between her and the one dog, but she fell under the grass, they came out right away. But neither one of us ever remember that dog opening its mouth. Our dogs were to us, but it definitely, and whether it should be a criminal thing, like that specifically, I say no, because they had the dog chained up and they just.
Anybody would come and say hi,
Yeah.
come and jump on you.
But,
But if you guys want, I to answer Jason's question, I think cause them that, to me, it's implied to be, I would apply it to bites, but.
But if that's the intent, then that should be the language.
Yeah,
Why
if
not
you want to
clarify it?
if you want to limit the bite injury, then I could change that, if you want to keep it expanded, then you would leave it as cause. To me, it should be bites, I mean, that's what we're talking about, like,
Yeah, it's like, right.
so I could change that to cause injury by bite. So person, another dog, we just call it.
I still think it's just really black and white, and it limits it to using one-time offender. Like I said, if my dog was like somebody,
and on the flip side of that, it gives us the power for the few one-time offenders that we might apply it to. Because in many laws, ordinance books are like that, there's things that it's nice to have, even with, we're talking about the solicitors. It's nice, I always tell the younger guys, when you're asking a guy to get ID and stuff like that, and he tells you not to off, there's times that you gotta know, okay, that's what I gotta do, because I don't have authority to demand, asking, you're a frontier passenger in a car without your seatbelt, that's a demand. If it goes to that, I have a seatbelt on, and said, F you, I'm not giving you my ID, and they said, okay, I can't push it any farther. So to have that, okay, I'm not necessarily going to write this guy a seatbelt ticket, but they're in the business district at 11:30 at night, everything closed, I want to ID them. So to have that ability to go back on the law if needed, because this one bite was egregious, or this bite where a kid came up and yanked the dog's tail, and dog bit the kid. So
I'll make it cause injury by biting to any person or dog or attempts to bite a person. So liability to attempt to bite a person and not attempt to bite a dog. I just said,
Move it forward and leave it till next,
Committee,
I'll leave it to me, I'll pass that out.
we'll leave the committee for
Table it.
I'd say,
That's fine.
We have one item of old business, discussion of panhandling ordinance. I believe Councilwoman Craniac brought up some issues about something that was left out.
well, I removed it. The draft that, with all due respect, the draft you have is pretty extensive to the point that it's defined with an ATM one and all kinds of other things. So I took out what I just didn't think was necessary. I took out the know that ATM. Again, I thought that ordinance is just overkill. I think this covers about everything. I mean, our goal is really that property owners, they should be panhandling, commercial property that's not theirs anyway. That's why you typically find them on the sidewalk. So when they're on the sidewalk, our goal is to make sure traffic is safe and to make sure that nobody goes into the neighborhood. That's what I try to focus on.
So 1 through 4. I have a copy of what was removed. Anybody want to say that?
Yeah, I don't think I have those tonight.
Yeah, I think it was 1 through 4, painful ordinance. And I, correct me if I'm wrong, Chief, I think you were pretty happy with the painful ordinance, correct?
And actually, I talked to Lieutenant Brigade yesterday from Kingsville, and sounded like all the back and forth that Kingsville had some input, and I know I used their ordinance at one point when the discussion first started. In the same group that we dealt with it, I went by, I saw 306 and 20, and, people say, oh, they're driving them around, and, I mean, all of those things are, I would rather, when I'm downtown Cleveland, Perry, or Vine Street, I'd rather not see people begging from, it doesn't add to the community, but it doesn't necessarily make it illegal. If businesses call us, we're gonna let them know, just like anyone, they say, I don't want John Meyer going to my store. They get that one bite, John gets notified, and the next time we can prosecute. That's pretty much what painful does. They have a larger homeless population than most of us. So they'll serve the guy with a letter, a trespass letter. They come back, we just immediately arrest them, and, the guy definitely stays off of that property. But like the last call we had, some people were using them over by the old BP. Call some leasing agent out of Arizona who owns the BP lot is a feasible option. You don't want them bothering people leaving Walgreens or bothering people. But it's also going to be on Walgreens to say, yeah, we're on record to say we do not want these people here. And corporations at times want to have both sides of the apple. Do what we want done, but we're not going to go on record and say we don't want that done. That's you guys. So we can't trespass someone from a property unless the property owner is going to say, yeah, we don't want that on our property. Use the sidewalks, and I think Randy and I agree that the sidewalks are just, whether it's striking, panhandling, whatever, just, get people going up their cars. And if it's moving, that could be disorderly conduct, if they're already, maybe the ordinance for that. But if the cars aren't moving, I really don't think anything. I mean,
So we have
maybe.
The issue is that a person of privilege to do some panhandling, believe it or not, but it's considered a speech issue. But I think this draft you have covers everything. The first one is the most important: solicitor panhandle in an aggressive manner. Panhandle when you're not permitted to be on the property, you have reference to public toilets and that stuff. Reference to coming near an ATM, and then as the chief is discussing, solicitor panhandle and operator or other occupant of a motor vehicle while such vehicle is located on a street. So they have a bit of a right to be on the sidewalk. So the question is, should be panhandling with people that are driving by, if they should. And then most importantly at the end is doing it in an aggressive manner. So really this covers it.
Because if they're standing there with a sign, you feel bad blowing out your window, they come up to your car, that would almost be kind of entrapment. I'm only going to the car because the person rolled down their window, I'm standing there holding the sign. I don't want squeegee people or people knocking on my window, but if I roll down my window and put my arm out with the dollar and the guy approaching me, I don't think that should be illegal either.
I think you're right, it's more of a community thing.
And what I'm trying to get us out of the habit of is every time that it's the next, go down the street and see two people and maybe a baby stroller or whatever, or getting a call. It's not, I'm worried about excessive police interaction or non-police issues. You know, we have, God forbid, the mental health issues in other parts of the country that result in death. People are like, oh my God, I can't believe the police did this, can't believe they did this, my baby, you don't know about this. Okay, well, who did you call to assist with your son with issues? You call the police department, and then we are trained, and we're not psychiatric professionals, and when we go there, we're going to handle it as well as we can. And those things, obviously, we got the protection of other people, and what more in that circle than just the panhandle. If someone's on Walgreens property and call, I want, for dispatch, they have Walgreens, you guys not want them there, just so we have that on record. Correct, we don't want them here. Fine, we'll go up there, we'll ID them, notify them, and document that. If they're catty corner, and I know one of our guys would tell them, if they're over at the old BP lot, or on the sidewalk, we might eyeball them, and, you know, but there's really no reason to getting that. I mean, that guy, the mayor, remembers a couple months ago that we talked about on the phone, this guy knew his rights. Not every police officer knows, you know, to the articulate nature of a panhandler that really knows what his rights are in the Constitution, and with the CCW holder before CCW, and, you know, open carry was always legal in Ohio. 15 years ago, if you had a guy walk with a long on his back down Main Street, you'd probably get a call from every other person. And then sometimes that would lead to a poor police response, that maybe we don't have the full knowledge of the difference. Well, I guess what I'm looking from you guys, collectively, what are you guys looking to try to prevent? And I think, I'll be the one to say, I think we all just want it to be somewhere else. But none of us want to be the ones to violate anyone's rights either. I think, property, people telling us we don't want them here, we enforce that if that person's back, and it's like the solicitor. The person who's doing the soliciting is usually the lowest rung, that's why he's not going to go to 6 p.m. Give that guy a ticket for just going up to a door that he's told they have a permit for. Compared to a door with no soliciting on it, you're banging on that door, that kid I don't have a problem going to a ticket.
I talked to one of the surrounding communities that they had a chance to talk to Chief today. That one community around us started to have van loads of people drop off in the city and go in different areas of Panhandle. So it's a concerted effort by some of these groups to do this. You know, again, there's going to be, you start doing that, I believe there's going to be more issues with, especially if there's 2 or 3 people on the car, one's trying to talk to another one, someone else trying to do, just like the whole, when people go out. So, I mean, this is the beginning part of that, United Way, but, yeah, whatever language we need.
Oh, yeah, so we draft it, cover it, if you guys take a look at it, you take a listen.
Yeah, I want to over do it.
No, I'm fine if you want to move it forward, send it out, and then if there's any kind of, take a few weeks for you, kind of let the, vice president take a look and see what his thoughts are, and I guess we can take it back to Park.
Yeah, I think we should have draft numbers.
Yeah, I think so.
Move forward.
I'm fine with that.
Move forward. And that concludes everything on the agenda. This will open it up to public speaking. Is there anybody from the public that would like to speak on our ordinance committee?
Now's your chance, Joe. That's it. Now's your chance. No.
Okay. Really, that was quick.
Yeah, you were saying.
Anything else, okay? No, no new business. Seeing nothing, meeting is closed at 6:27 p.m.
You need a screen?
That'd be ideal.
You good?
Yeah.
Everybody, it's 6:30 p.m. and I call this finance committee meeting to order. Present from the committee, we have Councilwoman Schmidt, Councilman Dunn, also present from the council, council is Councilman Myers, and Councilman Overstreet. Councilman Spotman and Councilwoman Kroniak are absent and excused. Present from the administration, we have Police Chief Wright, Mayor Morley, Law Director Hammer, we have City Engineer Tom Whiter, and our Finance Director Carol Ann Schindel. Prior to the meeting, Finance Director Schindel, I should say, first thing we have on our agenda is our proposed legislation is to discuss Splash Park. This actually is a pending matter. We don't have any new proposed legislation. This is a pending legislation. So when we discussed it last time, we requested that that we be given options as far, or explore what options as far as financing we might have. And prior to the meeting, Finance Director Schindel gave us a handout that has some number of alternatives, including 15-year alternatives, 10-year alternatives, and 5-year alternatives. Finance Director Schindel, do you want to explain what we're looking at here?
Absolutely. Under par amount, there is a dollar amount. The sheet that was presented to you is assuming it's all in flat fee project, not that there may be options available to you, and it's assuming a deposit. And I'm going to ask that you pay more attention to the par amount, which in this case may be the total amount of the project. And it gives you the interest rate, how much interest you'll pay over the time, and what our average payment would be, and what it would cost for us to enter into this agreement with all the parties involved, because it's the government that fees have to pay. It really talks about whether you want to do a 5-year, 10-year, or 15-year alternative. The situation that we're in and the projections that I have prepared, I strongly recommend a 15-year fully financed alternative for the city amount that we can, because our current spending level right now for 2022 is in excess of our funds coming in, and I'm still not very comfortable projecting out what 2023 revenue will be because of the COVID situation. Businesses. I know that we had a lot of one-time money this year. I highlight what points in the financial statement they may be, but I'm still projecting that we will spend approximately $1.2 million more than what we receive. And that includes the one-time money that we have received, which means going forward we will continue, as we continue at this rate, to spend down our fund balance that we have, because costs are continuously increasing daily. I know that our gas went up. I know that our water bill went up. I know our postage went up. Our heating of the building went up. So with those additional costs continuing to rise and not a good comfort level as to where the businesses stand yet, I'm recommending that you finance in full whatever amount you choose to spend in terms of the first rate cost. But that's really what it is. Does that help?
Yes, thank you. Does anybody have any questions for Finance Director Schindel?
Was there an option to have for either of you with the 15 years? Was there an option to pay off?
Oh, yes. You can pay this off early if your funds come in better than anticipated. Absolutely. That is an option. It's available. Correct. It's just trying to tell you this is how much you're going to spend, this is what your monthly. I'm sitting here going, how much is my monthly payment? I need to know the monthly payment. I need to be able to make sure that we can pay this. And again, we may have started the year with $6 million, but if we're spending more than $1 million every year, more than what's coming in on today's numbers, a projection, I've increased revenue, but I have increased the cost. So on a projection, if we're continuing on the path that we are right now, then we are definitely spending more than we're bringing in until things turn around. And so I'm sitting here saying, finance it, please.
Project deposit is essentially
deposit was assuming, let's say it was $1 million project, that we would put down 500, we would finance that one.
Okay, are there any other questions for finance? No. Seeing none, I believe we have a guest presenter today. So, if you would like to look up and state your name and where you're from for the.
Yeah, absolutely. Taylor Calaga with DWA Recreation. We represent a number of different products. This one in particular being Water Odyssey, being the splash pass for Surfside Park. So this project started back a couple years ago when John, Dennis, Bill, Dave, and Carolyn, myself met. We put together a couple different concepts. Originally, one concept in which has now turned into three. So to give you guys a couple different options from a dollar amount standpoint. I don't see as we go forward with this as all similar concepts, if you will, or themes. Just some have a little bit for more features than the other. And feel free to stop me if you have any questions along the way. I won't get into too many of the technicalities of the sweat pad itself, but more the three different options itself. So option one, which was what we originally started off at, just under 620, has a total of 43 features, which is your biggest of the big, if you will, with 370 gallons per minute. That's recycling throughout your the reservoir and tank. This being the top view drawing, every single one of these three designs and concepts is a circular shape with an 8-foot overspray zone to allow for individuals that are going to be there at the park to have their chairs, have their towels, to allow for that extra space. So the following are going to be some of the renderings themselves. So more of like a water theme, if you will, cannons, octopus, a dolphin, all these features, some even coming out of the ground as well. There is ground level sprays. So when I go back to that first slide there, being the 63 total features, that may not all be above ground, but some that are ground level as well. A little bit further zoomed in there. The photo of the cannon as well as the treasure chest. And all these features are actually manufactured in San Marcos, Texas, so they are U.S. made products. And the installer that we would be working with would be here out of Ohio that does a lot of large electrical projects as well. One additional photo there. Any questions regarding the initial design, initial concept?
What are features made of? I mean, I don't know if plastic.
Yeah, so it's a little combination of all three. So these are going to be galvanized. Some of the fixtures here, especially that go on the ground as well. A couple of the larger pieces are actually GFRC, which is a 3/4 concrete, paint concrete, and then some that are a little bit more technical. It's actually very thin styrofoam, and they put a coating on top of it, which is called aqua armor. And there's actually videos online that you can take baseball bats to. It's a very durable product that eliminates any type of calcium buildup, so on and so forth. So it's a combination of the.
How spread out, it's hard on the page, how spread out is the equipment, so somebody's in a wheelchair, can they still?
They can certainly maneuver around. I mean, this is large enough that we could duck under, you or I could duck under. And we actually, all of that is submit this to Water Odyssey, that's all taken into consideration as well with the ground sprays and the location of those. Any questions regarding this one? So, I initially intended to do like option 1 being the largest, option 2 being the second largest, option 3 being the most economical. But based off of, we kind of started off with large scale, and we went to the smaller scale. So this is actually, this following slide is going to be your second or your most economical option. This total of 27 features, so a little more than half of what we were at on the previous one, and quite a few more ground sprays than above ground. So we kept the tree, cut a couple of the shooter cans, and then the bigger feature of them all being the ship itself with the pirates flags. Which those are metal flags, they're not actual flags. A lot more ground sprays on this one.
Is there any way to calculate, the number of people each one of these designs are going to create?
So really, it's going to be based off the area itself. So I could get back with you on that, because I don't have that off the top of my head, but all three would essentially be the same amount. And a lot of times when you think of capacity, we talk more about, like, from a playground setting of what a structure could hold or number of people. And a lot of that also has to do with just the number per person per square feet. So I can follow up.
Yeah, I just didn't know if more above ground features actually give you less capacity.
Yeah, if we were doing like huge buckets, I mean, like this component here being the octopus definitely takes up some space, but you'll see people flying on that as well. I mean, it can utilize the entire space itself. So so this is going to be our the third option here, being the second of the three from a price standpoint. So it's 21 total features. More of them are going to be above ground on this. 194 total gallons per minute. And these are the options that I believe you guys have seen. So similar, a little bit more similar to the first one, a couple less ground features, not having the treasure chest in there.
Okay, good.
There was also a pavilion and a restroom and everything there, you know, there.
So the cost of the project would include it was the demoing unit, then we put the new rooms, the house, the pumps, and all the equipment for the spray car, and we also have the restroom. Pavilion is not, pavilion section.
Yeah, there's probably another, $400,000-500,000 just out of this price, that go with that for all the demo and everything else that we've done. Whole project, if you go with the Tesla,
Can you touch on that?
3 million. It goes down, whatever the difference comes from the housing.
Can you touch on the cost differences too between the three?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're at 550, just over 550 of that. The option 3, and then Most economical is gonna be, of the three options, just under 500, so $55,000 difference, roughly. And 616.
I think,
$521,000.
I think the price of the phone, stuff like that should be the same, no matter which one we choose, so the price is just gonna be one year, 550, 495, or 660.
Correct. It's not a huge price difference between the three. Just so for everyone on council also. Even baked with everything that's in it, they're all, that's all the same size. Right. All the same size pad and everything should be, the features are all converted.
That difference really is in the feature price, the price for the installation standpoint. I mean, we're still having the same size manifolds, we're still running about the same amount of pipes, being the PVC pipes, still having to excavate the same amount of concrete.
Once it's installed, what kind of maintenance would we be talking about? Are any of those, like the ones that are above ground, higher maintenance and have higher annual upkeep costs or anything like that?
It's your question. So I would say about 50/50 as to whether or not customers really remove them or not. It's going to be recommended from the manufacturer during the winter months to remove them. We often have customers that don't, and they would say, from a maintenance and upkeep in general, this flat that, being a recirculating system, that we need to be someone that knows how to balance the chemicals, to be able to, ensure that the pH level is proper.
What's the kind of lifespan of this equipment typical?
Yeah, I mean, it's all gonna depend on, how much use you guys are getting out of it and how, if you guys are taking it up and down. I mean, we have customers that have experienced splash pad bars for 20+ years, they're still operating. It is, you know, they have maintained it and cleaning out the solenoid once a year and ensuring that those chemicals are balanced and wiping them down throughout the year as well as from a health and wellness standpoint.
Is there a warranty?
Yes, there is.
What's the cost for you guys to do that?
We don't actually have like well, from a pH standpoint, that's not something we offer like a day-to-day routine standpoint. Removing the equipment, it's not something that I've priced out, but, I mean, it's not to say that, we couldn't have that conversation.
Dennis, would service be available for removal annually? Or?
Yeah, Kevin's seen some of the, instruments on there, I mean, we used to do some of the things they had, so, yeah, we just want to look at some of the other three, we went to look at all those places, so. Yeah, basically, they just top off like we do on some of those heroes and stuff. I'll set it up.
We must read that, Ingrid.
Yeah, I think Will includes a lot of theirs over the winter, whereas Wicklow takes everything down.
Does leaving the equipment up affect the warranty?
So from a fading perspective, it would, if, you know, over time, the GFRC pieces, if it were to need to be repainted, that would void it. But as for the actual, mechanicals of it.
So your customers that have left it up through the winter, versus your customers that have taken them down, is there any data on longevity of the equipment with them fitted, or how much extra life they get out of the equipment?
I don't have, like, when you say data, no, I don't know if I ever taken the tractors, whether or not they have or have not taken it down. I mean, I can certainly get like references as to whether or not some of our customers can see the benefit of that and what kind of fade that would look like.
then just one more comment on this one. We brought up the fact that it's between 616 for the most, for the platinum obviously speaking, as opposed to the 499,000, the lower end. Just for something like 15 years, we're talking about $8,000 a year. Brought Taylor in, and we've all talked about this much, felt that given the three options and everything, that, I'd like to get some opinions from the council, which you would prefer, if it's, something they'd like to move forward with.
Sure. And I think, Caroline, I think maybe you can address this. Are we on any kind of timeline here, especially with respect to these interest rates? Is that subject to change if we
They're definitely subject to change, and, this was the data as of August, 30th. So, well, whatever the economy dictates is where we're gonna end up. But this was the most current and best information I had at that date. And a point of clarification on the project deposit, that really is just the cash we get from the bank, so we would have to make a decision. And all I'm saying is that the cash from the bank plus the fees is what we borrow, which is the portion on the sheet.
And then just to be clear, Michelle, when we talk about the financing, your preferred option would be option 5, the 15-year.
15 years.
Option 5, right?
15 years, full amount. So wherever your number falls in with all these other installed parts.
Okay.
I want to finance the whole thing because I'm not very comfortable, projecting that you will end up in a positive balance at the end of a couple of years by liquidating your cash right now.
Does anybody have any thoughts on which of the options for the design, which on the committee or any other
The mayor did there, sorry. Option 1.
I mean, if you're gonna do it.
I hear you.
And I think
That's
it's
why
gonna
we
be
have
so
to do the 3 options.
There's so many kids in that, I mean, there's just so many kids that are gonna utilize it, so I think to make sure that everyone has playtime and as long as it's accessible for anyone.
I think you just so you're aware, even if it gets passed for closing now or in a couple of weeks, whatever it is, this probably won't be done until almost the end of next summer because it's full permit out of the state, that's not with engineering and demo, and so the only thing that may end up next year is possibly demoing the old bathrooms and everything at First Side Park, and then
So for that price, when did that price lock?
So really, when we get if we were to get a purchase order, design agreement, we can have it in, we can send it over to the manufacturer. We can, on our end, work with our installers on it. Right now, we are seeing that the Ohio Department of Health Safety right around 4 months approvals. It was 2 years ago, about a month's time. So that's their down person individual is taking them much longer than previously.
Okay, are there any other thoughts on which of the options would be the preferred one?
I'll do it, whatever the rest of you want, but if you prefer the Cadillac option, so to speak. I mean, on top of that also.
I don't know if this affects him or us, but is there anything that we can, apply for any grant or anything to offset the cost?
I mean, we can always apply for grants in between right now. I mean, the grants, if they capital grants aren't for another year, well, they just ended, we talked to the watershed before to see if there's anything out there. And we're all looking for the grants, if there's something out there in between that we can find to subsidize
just wanna make sure everybody understands that when this project is done, you're gonna be close to 1.3, 1.1 million. Just so you understand.
I'm going to suggest that at this time, that we approve this option one, that's the quote for $616,890.85 plus the cost of, demo and other costs that will be necessary to complete the project. And, that would be my vote. So, Councilman Senex, that's the position. And Councilwoman Schmidt. That's a unanimous vote from the committee that we're going to go with option one on the quotes with we'll apply for a 15-year finance alternative in full. The full amount would be financed. Okay, with that, the only other thing on the agenda is recognition of the public. Does anybody wish to address the finance committee? We're having a council meeting after this, so I would limit comments at this time just to this last part. Does anybody wish to speak on this last part at this time? I see nobody. So, and there are miscellaneous matters on the agenda at this time. So with that, I will adjourn the finance committee meeting at 6:57 p.m.
Call the council of the whole committee meeting for September 15, 2022, to order at 7:04 p.m. All members from council are present, except for Councilwoman Kroniak, who is absent excused. All members from the administration are present. If there's anyone recording this meeting as a courtesy to the public, will you please identify yourself? As fellow attendees know that they're being recorded. Seeing none, the city of East Lake is recording this meeting. Under legislation proposed, there's legislation number 09-13-01, an ordinance authorizing the issuance of a conditional use permit for Outfront Media, Tim Keaton applicant, 34300 Lakewood Boulevard, West Ohio, 04095, M3 district, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Mann?
Yes, they came to the planning commission to propose another large sign, like the two on the north side of the freeway. And, planning commission had no issues with it, and it's here in council for approval.
Do you have any questions, Mr. Mann?
How will it be the same size, the one?
Jerry, I don't have the exact figure, but yes, it won't be any taller, it should be the same as the two on the other side.
This is replacing the.
There was an old,
Old board that's there.
yeah, there was a billboard, big billboard there for years, so they're taking that all out and putting up a regular.
Just for the record, this will be electronic billboard.
Yes, same way with one side will be a panel and the other side will be digital. With all the appropriate time cycles and all that.
And they went through planning, they also went through ODOT, so that also created.
Okay, any other questions for Mr. Mann? All right, seeing none, we move on to legislation number 09-13-02, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and director of finance to enter into a 3-year contract with BPI Information Systems of Ohio, Incorporated, for providing management services on the city's information systems to include servers, desktop, and laptop computers and printers, being exempt from competitive bidding as this involves performance of personal services of a specialized nature requiring the exercise of particular skill and aptitude, and declaring an emergency. Commissioner Miller?
Thank you. We would like to retain BPI for our services. Our 3-year contract is a blessing. Their fee approximately the same as last year, or past 3 years. They kept the fee pretty flat, and they are, I know they've worked with almost everyone who is now at some point in time on your phone to your laptop. And they are available 24/7. They're available, and it costs us a little extra for midnight calls, but they are available should you need anything. And we feel that the service is a fair service.
Any questions for Mr. Miller? Thank you, Mr. Miller. We'll move on to legislation number 09-13-03, an ordinance to reappropriate for the expenses of the city of East Lake, state of Ohio, for the period beginning January 1st, 2022, and ending December 31st, 2022, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. If you look at the schedule that I provided, it will say, under the general fund, operating expense community support. When I changed the budget last time, it was for the court costs. Well, what I did not take into account is that sometimes there are some, court activities that are waived, or the court cases that are waived, and we have to pay the fees, so I needed a little extra for, fees that we had to pay for those, cases waived. Under street maintenance and building, I just want to move $5,000 out of street maintenance and put it in the building. That's really a zero effect on the, general fund. If you have stormwater, I'm asking for an extra $300,000, but it's not at a cost to us because it is our OWDA, OPWC activity, and it's a little more this year than I had anticipated we would have at this time. But when the money comes in, the money goes out because the state is paying for it. So I just need to make sure that as the money comes in, I can make sure that I pay the bill, or allow for the bill to be paid. fire EMS levy, as well as the general bond, fund retirement. Those costs are county costs for collecting our levy money, and they were more than anticipated. The sanitary sewer fee is an OPWC activity, so again, when the state pays us a route, I record the revenue, but I need to be able to record the expense, and so this really is a wash. It doesn't cost us anything extra, because there's the extra, interest someday, but, it doesn't cost us any extra in cash this year, because we're getting the money from the state, and the state is paying the bill, which I record the expense. Federal grant, I'm just lowering it, because we had done a large, move, so that we could isolate the captain's money separately, for the lighting, and so, earlier in the year, we moved that lighting project out of federal grants into the ARPA, SLRS fund. And so this is just adjusting for that move that we made earlier in the year, so I'm lowering that. Any questions?
Any questions, Commissioner? All right, thank you, Commissioner Miller. Seeing none, we'll move on to legislation number 09-13-04, a resolution certifying that there are unpaid bills owed to the city of East Point and authorizing the director of the Lake County Auditor to place these bills on tax duplicate for collection of payment and declaring an emergency. Commissioner Duffy.
Thank you. Every year we, need to provide to the county a list of those delinquent items that have not been paid that are in excess of 90 days that we may have paid on behalf of. When it comes to the county, that may be certain water bills that maybe the county had not been able to collect on. And when it comes to us, it might be businesses that maybe had not paid sewer bills. So anything that we may have had, or weed yard cleanup that we may have paid for. So we have come to you asking if we may send this to the county so that it may be collected, and it's all over 90 days, and with multiple attempts to collect. It's housekeeping.
Any questions for Finance Director? Okay. Seeing none, we'll move on to legislation number 09-13-05, a resolution accepting the amount and rate as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor and declaring emergency.
Thank you. Again, this is housekeeping. The county budget commission has determined how much approximately money we will be getting next year on our levies, and it is up to you to basically accept it.
Any questions, Commissioner? Seeing none, we'll move on to legislation number 09-13-06, a resolution requesting the city of East Lake designate Carol Ann Chanel, CPA, Finance Director, to make a request for an advance payment of property taxes for the calendar year 2023, pursuant to Ohio Revised Code 321.34, and declaring an emergency.
Thank you. We do this every year as well, because when the county collects tax money, they wait until, if we don't do this, they wait until they collected all the money, and then I might get my check in May. But if we say, oh, no, I'm allowed in advance, they might give me a check earlier. So, like, because maybe people paid earlier, so they'll just give you an advance on the account. So it's really helpful to have some money in February, March, instead of waiting until they settle everything. So I'm asking permission to keep that advance.
Any questions, Commissioner? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to legislation number 09-13-09, a resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and director of finance to enter into an agreement with Morgan Roofing for the repairs to the service garage roof for an amount of $142,500 and declaring an emergency. Commissioner? Mr. Mayor? Dave?
Yeah, we, went out for 3 bids. We're familiar with this company. They, also did our city hall roof. Very happy with them. We checked out their products, and I have, no issues with recommending.
I'll go with one.
Any questions for Mr. Mayor? All right. If none, we'll move on to legislation number 09-13-08, an ordinance amending section 1147.08, accessory use regulations of the codified ordinance of the city of East Lake to include section E and read as such and declare an emergency.
So this is again back to the container ordinances. The context is 1147 is the chapter that governs the business regulations. So it's suggesting key with the addition of, I don't know if you have the change that I sent over today about the front yard, but so what he is indicating, storage containers, what should be shall not be permitted in the front yard of the business district, and then it has the process for temporary, situations where, for instance, there might be construction, they have to move equipment or product outside the same storage container when do construction. So I think this should address what you want to address. I think the mayor and the CEO have investigated a lot of them move, and that will cause some problem before, so that's been working all along.
Any questions at all? All right, seeing none, we'll move to legislation number 09-13-09. The following is an ordinance enacted by the city of East Point of Lake County, Ohio, hereinafter referred to as the local public agency regarding the ODOT project titled Municipal Bridge Inspection Program and declaring an emergency. Mr. White?
This is to lock into a program run by ODOT to inspect city-owned bridges, which are West Island, East Island, and Erie Road bridge. They do this yearly. It's a free program.
Any questions, Mr. White? Okay, seeing none, thank you, Mr. Porter. Move on to resolution number 09-13-10. A resolution authorizing directing the mayor and director of finance to enter into an agreement with Infinity Construction for the CMAR services for the Lake County Captain Stadium and declaring an emergency. Mr. Mayor?
This is for the enhancement of the stadium of the ARPA money we received from the county. We had 3 groups apply, we did interviews, and we came up with Infinity Construction as being our services for the Captain Stadium.
Any questions from the mayor? All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Seeing none, we'll move on to legislation number 09-13-11. An ordinance authorizing the issuance of a conditional use permit for Empire Engine Repair and Sales located at 34659 Vine Street, East Point, Ohio, 44095, Inland District, for an outdoor fenced-in storage space and declaring an emergency. Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, this is, a new business we have on Vine Street. They do, small engine repairs, mainly lawnmowers, snow blowers, weed eaters, things of that nature. And they want an outside storage area behind the building that they are going to fence in with, like a privacy fence. And then outside in the front, the planning commission, has said that they can display a couple items, for sale, show people what they're doing, so they can get more business.
Any questions, Mr. Mayor?
They were planning on building a fence in the front too, right?
No,
Not just,
I believe there's a.
the fronts and the back, I mean, the back of the building, which is off of the side street, is, going to have a 6-foot privacy fence. And, you know, maybe it did change.
No,
No, we're not doing a fence in the front, right?
no,
We talked about it and we.
no, I didn't want to do a fence in the back. Right, only the back.
That's right, you don't allow them.
Yeah.
Any other questions, Mr. Mayor? Okay, seeing none, move on to legislation number 09-13-12. A resolution declaring necessary and determining to proceed with acquiring, constructing, installing, equipping, improving, maintaining, and repairing improvements necessary for making improvements to abate erosion along property within the city, included within the main communities, shoreline, special improvement district, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency. Mr. Mayor?
We can do, 09-12 and 09-13-13. This has to do with the special improvement district for our residents that have applied, to fix their erosion. It's just stating that anything that they do will get the tax lien on the property. It's something we have to hand in for them to get that done and get the, money from, the group to
Any questions for that? All right, then just for the record, legislation number 09-13-13, which is the ordinance levy special assessment for acquiring, constructing, installing, equipping, improving, maintaining, and repairing improvements necessary for making improvements to avoid erosion on properties within the city, including within the lake community shoreline special improvement district, together with all necessary purposes thereto, declaring an emergency, as the mayor touched on all.
The same thing, like they pulled a permit from the ODR, they hired a contractor, the money comes out of the, it was negotiated with Erie Bank, $20 million project. The first round, was about $6 million, I think this round is about $5 million, so after this round, there'll be another round, depending on how the weather's changing. But again, most of the people that have been fixing the erosion at their homes, will be using armor stone, which is about $1,000 in the near. Quite expensive, as you know, for the repairs to be done in the city.
Any questions from that? All right. We don't have any legislation pending. Adjourning this council whole committee meeting at 7 p.m. Calling the regular council meeting September 13th, 2022, order at 7:20 p.m. Mr. Scott, will you please lead the pledge of allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Here. Is there a motion to approve the agenda for the regular council meeting September 13th, 2022? Is there a second? Second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Mr. Sonic?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Oberste?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes, the motion is carried, the agenda is approved. Is there a motion to approve the minutes of the regular council meeting on August 23rd, 2022? Is there a second? Second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Mr. Sonic?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Oberste?
Yes.
Mr. Myers?
Yes, the motion is carried, the minutes are approved. Our next scheduled council as a whole committee meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, September 27th, 2022 at 7 p.m. with the regular council meeting immediately following the adjournment of our council as a whole committee meeting. Mr. Katsounis, I believe we have a finance committee meeting.
Yes. We discussed, the installation of a splash park at the Surfside Park on Hillcrest Drive. And we did like to move a proposal forward to council as a whole. That is a proposal that was presented to us by our guest who, proposed a $616,000, splash park plus, we estimated it'll cost about $400,000 for demo and building the new building that will be required for the splash park. And we're going to finance that for, we're gonna take a 15-year option that we estimate will be about 3.25% interest, and we'll be financing that in full, is the proposal that, the finance committee is making to, council as a whole. And that's it.
Any questions, Mr. Katsounis? Sorry, Mr. Katsounis? Thank you, Mr. Katsounis. And then we also had a ordinance committee. Mr. Oberste?
In tonight's ordinance meeting, we discussed panhandling ordinance to help control some of the people that are standing on the side of the road begging for money. We also discussed the vicious dog ordinance, which we held in committee to try to work on the language. We did move the panhandling ordinance forward, which will be on a future meeting. With that, I'm open for questions.
Any questions from Mr. Oberste? All right. Seeing none, we'll move on to recognition of the public. The floor is now open for recognition of the public. Our right speakers, all remarks will be directed to the chair. It does not involve personality. They're limited to 3 minutes per person, 3 minutes total. We have 4 individuals that have signed up to speak. Mr. Fritsch, please come forward and state your name and address for the record.
I apologize. It's hard to
Here, right up here, the light.
We turn around and try to.
Yeah, you have to speak a little louder so others can't hear very well. My name's Tom Fritsch, I'm on 346th Street, south of East Lawn. We have an issue, I'm not sure what the dog ordinances are, but I haven't studied those. I've lived in East Lake for over 70 years. And we've had an issue with a dog owner on our street who's attacked, their dog has attacked 2 different people on our street. Now, I'm not sure, I'm not saying I don't like dogs or I love dogs, but when you have a vicious dog, there's an issue because this dog comes out, a woman who owns the dog or whoever owns the dog cannot control it. It's attacked 2 different people. Now, I know we have ordinances against how many dogs you have, nuisance dogs, all this, dogs loose, all that. But I don't know if there's an ordinance about vicious dogs. So, but that's one of the issues we have. We don't walk down that in the street because of that dog. That dog was tied up and broke loose from a lady and somebody who was here tonight. Then we had another instance where the person was walking down the street, dog came through the door and attacked her and tore her up in a hospital. So I don't know what the dog ordinances are. This is a dog, it's the owner dog. They can't control it. There's some dogs that are not made for out public, let's say. They're used in junkyards for that reason. So I don't know if we have an ordinance for that, for a vicious dog or not. I don't know. But something's got to be done because if it was a child, it could kill them. And we have a whole different issue going on. So that's what I have to bring up. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments.
Thank you.
The next person signed up to speak is Jeff B.
Good evening. I am the person you referred to as being attacked. I have pictures, police reports, corroboration from neighbors. My dog was on a leash in the street. The dog came from the person's property, as noted in the report, attacked me and the dog. I was injured defending my dog with pictures. My dog wound up having to go to the veterinary to have some, thankfully, minor issues dealt with. She wound up with a couple of staples. As Tom referred to, if that had been a kid, it'd be game over. I wound up on my head, busted my glasses, my face is all tore up. The dog is still in the house as of yesterday when I went up the street in the car. For years, I lived on the street, many years. I've walked the street for relaxation, peace of mind, comfort. 2 years I have not walked the street. I'm afraid to walk up the street. Shortly, if I leave the house, I carry guns. Shouldn't have to do that in a residential neighborhood or the other street, which are not legal. It's a shame that, like I said, I couldn't tell you, I've got granddaughters. I used to walk up and down the street all the time. Can't do that anymore. I can't take my own adult self up the street without being in fear of this animal. And now I understand there may be 2 or 3 of them in this house. It's a bad situation. There needs to be something done with it. And the sooner the better. Now, if I can turn these over and add to your legislation.
Was there more additional police report that's already been on?
Police report, pictures. And I have the whole stack of the council to keep these because these are copies. I have my originals at home.
Okay, then I'll follow back up with you later. As far as the status from there.
But my issue was 2 years ago, almost to the date of the letter carrier's attack. It's just a bad situation. There are a lot of kids in the street. I hate like hell to see something like this happen in the morning.
Thank you, Mr. Bean, the chief indicated he'll follow back up with you.
And so, just so you know, Council President may want to say, we had a committee meeting before, unfortunately, for the council as a whole meeting, we had an ordinance committee meeting where we were drafting the vicious dog ordinance.
Well, I'm glad there's something to be done.
So it happenstance, you guys just missed the meeting where we were discussing it, but I'm sure there's a lot of people here for that reason, and we were working on a draft. I think we have what I would consider pretty close to a final draft.
Glad to hear.
Council will be hearing it,
Glad to hear.
just in case anybody else has any.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next person to speak would be, David Anderson.
Good day, everybody. So my name is David Anderson. I'm a supervisor at the Littleway Post Office. I've been here for just shy of 4 months. We've already had 3 of the carriers get bid during that time. I've been at the post office for 9 years, and I thankfully have never been bid, but I know a lot of you guys have. I've been in 10 different cities as a supervisor, and I've never had the same issues that I've had in the past 3 months I've been here with dog attacks or even close calls, where they're making it out of the yards and biting the bag, or getting sprayed, or they're getting called back before they reach the carrier. Over the past years in Ohio, it's been over 700 people who've been bit by a dog. Now, they don't specify how bad, but that's a lot of people. And I wish I had broken down my city. But for me, it's how many of my employees have to get bit before things are changing. I'm glad that we are starting the new ordinance in the city. That's great. But I just want to make sure it's concrete of how many. It's just me in a short period of time. This is just mail carriers. That's obviously not other people, like the 2 people that spoke. I just hope that the final does make it through and we can see some changes shortly. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments, I appreciate it. And then we also have, and I apologize, I can't read the last name, Ken.
I'll take my time at this time.
I appreciate it.
You know what? Maybe track that. I will.
Thank you,
Thank you for my name is Ken Blaney. My name is Ken Blaney. I'm also a supervisor at the Littleway Post Office. Some of you know me personally, some of you don't, but here's what I'm here to say. My crew over here, they're family. Unfortunately for me, I've been the one who has to go out and do a lot of these investigations. I'm the one who gets to see the carnage, the torn flesh, the blood, the carriers crying because they've been chewed up by an animal that doesn't bite. The homeowner safety starts on bite. As long as the animal has teeth, it will bite. Okay? Council at large, she's not here yet, Councilman. She made an address about the dog paws program. This is a nationwide initiative. We are putting it as a sticker on the house before a dog and the dog that we believe to be a little bit troublesome is to help advise the carriers to be aware. They are yellow and they are orange. The orange one is at the house with the dog is for the nemesis. So if you're out, you hear, you're going to get some phone calls. Why are they stickers on my mailbox? You get them all the time. But this is what we're doing. We're trying to be proactive. We don't believe all dogs are bad. We do believe all dogs can bite. Okay? The carnage, the loss of wages, the loss of time. You folks know about budgets. You folks know financial loss. Every time a carrier gets bit, they lose work hours. There's a financial loss to the system. We don't know how great the postal system is financially right now. There'll be another loss. Okay? We haven't even gotten into the medical costs. How about every time that chief has to send out one of his officers or 2 of them for one of these calls? Well, Mr. Livingston here, when he has to send out his rescue guys to patch up one of my carriers, there's an expense there as well. So I look at it from a big, broad perspective. And Lucy, I want to thank you for your time, but I would like to see something done. I understand something is worse. I really do. Not all dogs bad, but we need to make sure that there is a record of dogs when they attack someone, when there's a fight, when there's a new miss. Okay? Just yeah. Can you get copy of those figures from my email? Yes. Yes, sir. That's all we're asking. We're asking for some support.
we're not looking to cause any more headaches. We can, these fine residents, they didn't plow us. A lot of them set their blocks by us. We want to keep on giving that good service. Well, we have a dog carrier. Let's see, I'm not going to point out, I think at least 3 right here, the money that have been chewed on the road recently. It's not acceptable. It's not acceptable when it comes. They said, that's my crew, that's my family. I don't want to see it happen, and that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you for coming. Anyone else who wishes to address council? State your name and address for the record, please.
My name is Dante Head. I'm a mail carrier with the Postal Service. And I just want to say we here to provide the service. You know, a lot of people look at us every day and think we just walk and deliver mail. But we deliver mail a lot of your pamphlets. You know, I don't see people every single day because what they see us every day. So we here to do a good job for you on all that we ask and that we've been taking care of. We watch a lot of your kids grow up. We deliver packages to the back door, to the front door. We come all the way up to your door and we're right in your front window while dogs are bashing the windows and everything. We just want to be taken care of. That's the only thing we need to ask for. So I'm going to leave it at that and thank you all for listening.
Thanks, I appreciate that. Thank you. Is there anyone else who wishes to address council?
Good evening, everyone. Remember, I was here about 3 months ago when I spoke, we just gave everybody, I need this mic, carrier and display. I gave everybody an overall synopsis of the dangers of the job, and I read some headlines from recent weeks. Since then, last year, 3 months ago, there's been 4 miners in death, 3 carriers that have killed in multiple different vehicles, and then Pamela J. Rock, she was a carrier outside of Gainesville, Florida, and she was mauled to death by 5 dogs. And it just so happens, one of my customers, her nephew, is the postmaster of the station that came out. The Woodland County Sheriff's Department was first on the scene. They had to buy a 3 tourniquets to her, and she was bleeding out. Before, when the sheriff arrived, the dogs were already pulled and placed back into their pen. She was rushed to the hospital, met back to Gainesville, where she died. In an attempt to save her life, they had to amputate one of the arms. If she had lived, they would have had to amputate 2 more limbs. Not to mention the fact that the interviews with the witnesses and all that confirmed that a portion of the face was missing. Okay? So I appreciate the work that you're putting forth right now for these dangerous dog ordinances. And the last thing that I was told, relayed to that the medical doctors at the hospital actually told her family that it was a blessing that she had died. Because otherwise, her quality of life would have been pretty much non-existent. Okay? Thank you.
Thank you, Aaron.
Good evening. My name is Monique Calder, and I'm a little bit before. All I really want to say is to the young man here, while you are drafting your ordinance for the dog, one of your requirements, some of your requirements, should be the door should be closed when you walk up. The fence should be steady when you walk up. And the dog should be maintained when you walk up. We're walking up to houses, and as a carrier myself, I've had 3 or 4 pit bulls bust the doors on me. So the doors, they're saying the doors are locked, but you have 300-pound dog kidneys. So that needs to be handled. Then we need fences. The dogs are hitting the fence, they're hitting the fence. They're hitting the fence with their own in the fence. That should be something that's in the ordinance. It should be properly maintained. That's all we're asking. And as someone that has to go to this house every day, we want to feel safe, just like this officer right here does. We want to be able to go home safe, just like he's doing. So just as I go up and protect him, we're going to be protected as well. That's it.
Thank you, Coco. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Sunita Butler, and I am the manager of every last one of them. We are a family at the Glenwood Eastlake Post Office. This is my second time here. I talked before about how I care about each and every one of them, no matter what happens. And I am responsible for making sure they get back home safely each and every day. And even though I'm not out there walking with them, I have to make sure that they go back home to their families the same way they come to me. And so I take it personal when I have an issue with the dog. I just had a dog bite on Saturday. Just a dog bite on Saturday. And so I said it before, I'm going to say it again. I'm going to hold the mail till I can't hold the mail no more. I can care less about complaints about holding the mail. When I got carriers with chunks being taken out of their legs, I got carriers with chunks being taken out of their wrists, bites and scratches on their chin. They look like they're going to war every day. And all they are trying to do is provide you guys a service. And it is ridiculous to me that we are not taking this serious. And I'm not saying you're not, but the progress to me is a little too slow. It's a little too slow. What is it going to take? When it happens to you or one of your family members, when you got to go out there and see blood all over the floor, and all they're doing is trying to murder and deliver the meal. Not antagonizing the dog, not teasing the dog, going about their merry way. So again, I don't care nothing about holding mail. I'm going to hold mail. I'm going to cease delivery. I'm going to do whatever I can to ensure that my family is safe each and every day. I think y'all need to speed up this process with this little ordinance and figure it out. Because in a minute, the whole city ain't going to get mail. To ensure that they are safe. Thank you.
Yes. Thank you, lady. Thank you.
Anyone else who wishes to address council? Look at guy.
My name is Rick Gould. I am the owner of Empire Small Kitchen here in sales. Just wanted to give you guys an idea, so you guys didn't make it to my regular thing, which was like a short notice. I do want to thank the building department. It's a big learning curve for me and my partner back there. Converting a pizza shop into a motor shop in 3 weeks is a feat, and sometimes we would get frustrated going to the building department, and we felt like sometimes we had to buy a permit so we could get a permit. And they saw my frustrations and my anger, and they were very professional. They explained to me, Richard, calm down, this is just how it is. Get some money, we'll give you a permit, and we'll be good. So, and it was. The fire marshal was very knowledgeable to me, and what I thought I was going to open beyond on safety things for my business, he said, yeah, no, let's do a little bit better. You know, he put the bar a little bit higher. And I appreciate that, because looking back, I don't want to be a reason houses or other businesses burn down because I wasn't equipped well enough. And the knowledge that the building department and the fire marshal gave me, I went one step further than what they did because I want to make sure I'm extra cautious. Basically, we are investor-owned and operated, small and repair shop. The only thing we fix at Empire is things that blow snow, cut your grass, or cut your hedges. I'm not going to fix your boat. I'm not going to fix your car. Somebody called me today wanting to fix her hot tub motor. No. I was a little skeptical about opening so late this season, but clearly Eastlake needed a small regional shop. I'm probably a couple weeks out and have to hire somebody to help me. If my shop is full, that week term, and I promised everybody, probably gonna have to hire somebody. And I know you guys, talked about, the agenda tonight about my outside sales and my outside storage. In order for me to hire somebody, the outside sales will make up 30% of my income for the shop, and that 30% will be able to hire another veteran. I'm only gonna hire veterans to work for me. I'm not gonna hire anybody else. I'm gonna hire veterans. And the outside sales will help. And to give you guys an idea, if you're familiar with the old Primo's Pizza, the back lot, I want to build a fence that's like going to be like $8 grand to it. Going from the corner of the building to the guardrail to the corner of the building, and it's not going to impede or intrude on any emergency vehicle services. So if your fire truck wants to cut through, we'll have room, it won't impede it. In my outside sales, we discussed it thoroughly through the planning commission. I want to put it in the front left corner of my parking lot, and I want to set it back 6 feet from the sidewalk. Not from the center, but from the corner, the edge is closest, so I'm going to put 6 feet back from that. And I want it to be a 15 by 20 square, and I'm only going to put 5 items out there at the time because I don't want to drag all this stuff back and forth every day. So 5 items is enough for me not to complain about having to drag it up there in the morning and back at night. So like I said, the outside sales and storage is very important and crucial to my business being vital to us when we hiring another veteran. And it's starting to get lonely in the shop. And having another veteran pop doors for us too will be good. So if you guys have any questions on what's going on or what I'm doing, feel free to ask me. And I will try to answer what you got. All right, thank you.
Welcome, thank you. Anyone else who wishes to address council? Okay. Being none, will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-01.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of a conditional use permit for Outfront Media, applicant 34300 Lakewood Boulevard, Lake, Ohio, 44095, S3 District, and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate reading to reading full? Is there a second? Excuse me, will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Kacinek? Yes. Mr. Smith? Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet? Yes. Mr. Clement? Yes. Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt? Is there a second? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Kacinek? Yes. Mr. Smith? Mr. Fox? Yes. Mr. Overstreet? Yes. Mr. Clement? Yes. Mr. Meyer?
Yes, the motion carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-02?
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and director of finance to enter into a 3-year contract with PCI Institutions of Ohio Incorporated for providing management services, information system, servers, desktops, laptops, computers, and printers, being exempt from competitive bidding and from all performance and personal location of specialized data required to exercise a particular skill and aptitude during an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate reading to reading? Is there a second? The board please call the roll.
Mr. Kacinek? Mr. Clement?
Yes.
Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Ms. Smith? Yes. Mr. Overstreet? Yes. Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt? Is there a second? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Kacinek?
Yes.
Mr. Clement? Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Ms. Smith? Yes. Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. The motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-03?
An ordinance to reappropriate the expenses of the city of East Lake, state of Ohio, for the period beginning January 1st, 2022, and ending December 31st, 2022, and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings to reading full? Is there a second? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Clement?
Yes.
Mr. Kacinek?
Yes.
Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Ms. Smith? Yes. Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt? Is there a second? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Clement?
Yes.
Mr. Kacinek? Mr. Fox?
Yes.
Ms. Smith? Yes. Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. The motion is carried, the legislation
authorizing and directing the Lake County Auditor to pay these bills on the tax duplicate for collection of payment and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings and readings in full? Is there a second?
Second.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas? Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. The motion is carried, or the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-05?
A resolution accepting the amounts of rates as determined by the Budget Commission and authorizing the necessary tax levies and certifying them to the county auditor and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings and readings in full? Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina? Ms. Schmidt? Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt? Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. The motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-06?
A resolution requesting the city of Lake designate Carol Ann Chandel, CPA, Finance Director, to make a request for an advance payment of property taxes for the calendar year 2023 pursuant to Ohio Code 321.34 and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings and readings in full? Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt? Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. The motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-07?
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and director of finance to enter into agreement with Morgan Roofing for the repairs to the service garage roof to the amount of $142,500 and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings and readings in full? Is there a second? Second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second? Second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. The motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-08?
An ordinance amending section 1147.08, accessory use regulations of the codified ordinances of the city of Eastlake to include section E and read as such and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings and readings in full? Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. The motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-09?
Following an ordinance enacted by the city of Eastlake of Lake County, Ohio, hereinafter referred to as the local public agency regarding the ODOT project titled Municipal Bridge Inspection Program and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings and readings in full?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. The clerk please call the roll.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second? Second. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Semick?
Yes.
Mr. Katrina?
Yes.
Mr. Thomas? Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. The motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-10?
A resolution authorizing and directing the mayor and director of finance to enter into agreement with Infinity Construction of CMAR services for the Lake County Captain Stadium and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings and readings in full? Is there a second? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes, is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes, the motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-1.
An ordinance authorizing the issuance of a conditional use permit for Empire Small Engine Repair and Sales located at 34659 Divine Street, Eastlake, Ohio, 44095, AD1 District, for an outdoor fenced storage space and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings to read? Is there a second? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Swan? Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet? Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes, the motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-12?
A resolution declaring it necessary and permitting to proceed with acquiring, constructing, installing, equipping, improving, maintaining, and repairing improvements necessary for making improvements to abate erosion along properties within the city included within the Lake Community Shoreline Special Improvement District, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings to read? Is there a second? Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
I move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes, the motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. Will the clerk please read legislation number 09-13-13?
An ordinance levying special assessments for acquiring, constructing, installing, equipping, improving, maintaining, and repairing improvements necessary for making improvements to abate erosion along properties within the city included within the Lake Community Shoreline Special Improvement District, together with all necessary appurtenances thereto, and declaring an emergency.
Is there a motion to suspend the rule requiring separate readings to read? Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis? Ms. Schmidt? Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes. Is there a motion to adopt?
Move to adopt.
Is there a second?
Second.
Will the clerk please call the roll?
Mr. Swan?
Yes.
Mr. Katsounis?
Yes.
Ms. Schmidt?
Yes.
Mr. Overstreet?
Yes.
Mr. Senick?
Yes.
Mr. Meyer?
Yes, the motion is carried, the legislation is adopted. We have no legislation pending, we have no unfinished business, we have no new business. We'll move on to administrative reports. Our first report is from our Merit Safety Director, Dennis Moore.
Thank you, Mr. President. Welcome this evening. Welcome back to school. After I came and visited the business, it clicked in finally about, as we talked about some of the council meetings before. I did see Councilman Dean, former Councilman Dean Brody, wanted to say hello from the city. We welcome you and we success the business. As I told you, thank you for your service to our country, and we look forward to working with you, to continue to work with you. That concludes my report. I'm open to questions.
Are there any questions from the mayor? All right, thank you, Mr. Mayor. Seeing none, we'll move on to our fire chief, Kevin.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just a couple thank yous. We had actually, between the gifts we always get, especially the treats we get from residents and, people that care about us at the fire station, the 9/11 ceremony, we got a lot of nice welcoming came in doing it at the fire station. We had a nice parade at Thomas Jefferson today, so lined up, so I know we were able to take fire trucks and police cars through there. We got to see the kids, and, not only did we appreciate the respect for us, it was really nice to see things being normal and kids at the schools. We did have our MDA live this year, so we did have a collection at 91 and Lakeshore. We don't know the total, but again, people are very gracious and generous to us, allowing us to do that. So we'll actually make a nice contribution on behalf of the city to MDA. And again, it's nice being able to get that, to be able to do those things. And then we also participated in the first responder day of the fire department had teams down there, so Outside of that, again, appreciate everybody. I'm open for questions.
Any questions for the chief? Thank you, chief. We'll move on to our police chief, Larry Wright.
For the postal employees still here, we have always followed a certain policy of, and I hope that we've always been at least happy with our response. Obviously, we can't be there to sometimes protect the carriers at that time, but, you know, to do the proper reporting after, make sure the Lake County Health District gets it. Honestly, it's always been, once we send it off to them, they would do their own follow-up, but we probably didn't integrate as much as we could have in the past. I know the mayor has, made some inroads with the dog warden, and he's been responsive, and also had communication with, the post office to make sure we're all on the same page collectively, and does a good job of including us in that. If there's specific issues that aren't being addressed, you know, sometimes the laws we have on the books can't address some of those things. I don't want to get into a speech about society, but kids are different now than 30 years ago. Probably the people raising dogs are different now as well. Maybe with not as much accountability and being worried about how it affects other people. So we're going to continue to monitor that, keep open communication with you guys so we can try to do our best for residents to get their mail and for you guys to feel safe providing that. So feel free to contact myself or the mayor, and we'll continue to work on that and go from there. That's all I have.
Great questions for Chief. Thank you, Chief. We'll move on to our chief building official, Dave.
Thanks for, supporting another new business, and that's all I have.
Is there any questions for Mr. Mann? All right, thank you, Mr. Mann. We'll move on to our service director, Kevin Costello.
So just a couple of things. They've started, playground installation at the Lakeshore Park today. That should be done by the end of the week, and that will include our 3 new playground sets at 3 different parks. I want to thank Mayor Morley and, the Lake County Metro Parks for working together. They were able to, get us situated with the Metro Parks at the Painesville Township Park was eliminating 2 of their ball fields, and they contacted the city and wanted to know if we could use any of their fence. We did go and get all their 4-foot fence, which is in very good condition. It's probably maybe 800 to 1,000 feet of fence, and we'll be reusing that fence on the Bay Shore cut through the parkway. So it includes the fence, the fabric, the top rail, the caps, the post, everything. The post will stay there, but everything we need to redo that entire fence should be good. And that was Mayor Morley that set that up. Other than that, we continue to do our hog outs at our catch basins and our ditches and sidewalks. And, the paving repairs at the stadium driveway are complete, and the paving of the tennis court are complete, which will be turned into pickleball courts next spring. And then I'd like to remind everybody that there's another car show at the concert on Thursday the 15th at the gazebo. What are you going to be recording? Shred Day is Saturday from 9 to 1. The 17th, the Oktoberfest is the same day from 3 to 8. Sunday we will have the makeup car show with the Project Alpha car show from 11 to 3. And then there's the Voices at the Senior Center the same day. And on the 24th of September, we'll have the 1 year of the Senior Center being open in that location with a pavilion party from 5. I encourage everybody to attend.
Almost paying attention.
And that concludes my report, the mayor's report, and the recreation director's report. I'm open to questions.
Is there any questions for the service director?
Can you do that list one more time?
Absolutely. Councilor Spot.
What's the timeline for the tax license?
I'm waiting on a quote right now.
Next year.
Oh, no, it'll be this year, yes. Any other questions? Thank you, Mr. Brown. With that, we'll move on to our city engineer, Tom White.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the council, Mr. Mayor, I am happy to work for you this evening and open for questions.
Any questions for Mr. White? All right, seeing none, we'll move on to our finance director, Caroline Chazelle.
I have nothing to report on questions, thank you.
Any questions for the finance director? All right, seeing none, last but not least, we'll move on to our law director, Randy Quinn.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. President. I'm kind of over the peanut gallery here. I just wanted to compliment the council clerk on the 13th piece of legislation.
It's been a busy week for us. Any questions for the law director? All right, seeing none, this council is adjourned at 8:06 p.m.
Yeah, I didn't understand that it was just like a word.
Yeah.